everyone. Thanks for being here today. I think everyone sitting at this table knows how different scleroderma affects us. And believe it or not, two of us here used to have medical devices attached to them, and now they don't.
I used to have a GJ feeding tube for 7 months due to my gastroparesis. So life changed completely when I got the tube, and still probably need the tube, but decided on my own to have it pulled because of how I thought it affected my family dynamic and the way my children looked at me.
Yeah, it made you feel like maybe you couldn't be who they wanted you to be.
Exactly. It made me feel like the eternal patient walking around with the IV pole carrying the drip for the feeding tube.
How old are your kids?
They're 18 and 20.
When did you have the feeding tube?
I had the feeding tube 2 years ago.
Okay.
So you haven't had it since?
I haven't had it since, but I'm still having problems. So now I have an appointment to discuss a gastric pacemaker.
So have you thought about opening up the idea to having a discussion with them about how it's important for you and how it helps you? And
I have, and I'm seeing a new GI doctor who I was referred to discuss further options, either to go back on the tube or to get a pacemaker.
Okay, because it's really important. Sometimes I know it's so overwhelming, the things that happen to us, but we have to stay on the right track because scleroderma can be such a progressive disease.
Exactly.
So we have to, at the same time, you can explore your options, but if that's what your doctors want you to do, maybe somehow you can incorporate it into your children's lives to talk about, this is important and, to show them like it's how you digest your food and things like that,
Well, they're also not little.
They're not little.
Yeah.
And they're adults and they should be able to handle.
I think they were grossed out by it.
Life is gross.
It is.
So.
And when you have a feeding
lots
tube.
Lots of scleroderma things are very gross.
Yeah.
So perhaps a very honest adult conversation about mom needs this stuff to help her be well. Sorry that upsets you. However, I raised you and now you're adults. So I need to take care of myself so I can be further here to continue to see you grow.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean.
Makes sense. I think the part that bothered them the most was the drain bag.
Right. It's rough. It's gross.
It's gross.
Tough.
Yeah, it is gross.
You change diapers.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I did.
we got through all that.
Yeah. Tag.
Yeah.
Tag, you're it.
Totally.
How old are your children?
18 and 20.
18 and 20.
One more thing is when you have a disabled parents, sometimes they are bullied in school as well. So I think that might be another reason why my mom has a feeding tube. My other parents, they don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be some psychological issues, and which I thought when my daughter was 1 year old, what will happen when the other students see me with oxygen. Her mom has oxygen, and that could be open discussion in class. And some people may not know it, but some people might say something and pick on her and talk about it. So I think it was psychological issue than them being grossed out about the feeding tube.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're probably
My
right.
daughter's 9, and so her classmates have known me since they started kindergarten, and my hands look funny, and back in kindergarten everyone asked, and I gave them age-appropriate answers, and now we've grown up with the same people in town. So I think that as of right now, it's okay, but she's going to middle school soon, and middle school changes everything. She will go to school with kids that do not know me.
Right, so that you have to introduce.
This discussion will have to happen again. I've also educated her enough about my illness to be able to speak up. And so far, I've been lucky that nothing like that has happened. She's been picked on for other reasons, but not anything to do with me.
Yeah.
So happily.
Yeah, well, you have a good open line of communication with her because communication is so important. So as long as they know what's going on, I mean, if you just show up one day with something like a oxygen tank or a feeding tube, maybe it overwhelms a kid because they think, well, this is my mom, what's going on, you know? So it's important to keep all kinds of communication open and also kind of like feed it to them kind of basically and not maybe so
Explain.
medically.
Yeah, I think
I
it
need
can
to
be
eat.
overwhelming.
This is how I eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need to breathe.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I breathe.
And sometimes we're in denial as well, you know.
I think that was part of my problem,
Yeah.
that I was having a hard time dealing with it myself. So to explain it to them and not be depressed about it when I was talking about it, because life did change.
Absolutely.
There was no more eating what everybody else was eating at dinner.
No.
It was, you know, you're with your IV pole eating the same flavored formula that,
Yeah.
that you eat every day.
Wow. I can't imagine how
Yeah, that
difficult.
wasn't fun.
But there's things that with scleroderma, we always have to keep adapting, not necessarily in a way where we're defeated, but adapting to a higher mental state where we're ready to prepare ourselves to deal with whatever comes our way. So we have to work on strengthening our minds with, you know, meditation or different things that can help us accept the now. Instead of focusing on the past or the future, we have to accept what's going on right now, I feel like.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think kids are probably more accepting these days than when I was younger. I mean, I don't physically look or appear sick, and I've never had any devices, but like my daughter goes to school, and different parents have different issues. One of her friends' dad has ALS, somebody else's mom has cancer. So I think they're more accepting and understanding that people have issues, health issues. Mm-hmm. And kids, I think, are more open and understanding than we give them credit for. And they're more accepting than adults. You know, Absolutely. If they grow up seeing you they're just going to think that's a normal part of you. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not a normal part of Jessica or me. Everybody's normal is different. But, you know, so-and-so's dad, he's in a wheelchair. That's his normal life.
Exactly.
You know, so I think they're more accepting than we give them credit for.
That's a good point.